How's it going, guys? Today we are taking a look at lines 101 to 109 in Odyssey Book 6. We're talking about Nausicaa, and she has just arrived at the beach to do the laundry. And we're going to start with line 101. Te sida Nausicaa, lau ko lenos ketamolpes. So our subject here is Nausicaa. The dad just tells us we're continuing an idea from above. And Nausicaa, the white-armed one, for them, remember pink is dative, for them, meaning her handmaidens, she led them in a molpes, in a game. And that's going to be right here. Singing song or play or playing a game. Hoye introduces a simile, and we're going to introduce here Artemis with the word like or as, just like how Artemis, AC, now this is from the verb ami, which means to go, not the verb to be. And the first principal part is usually expressed as this, erkomai, or it can be ami with a circumflex. So just be aware, the first principal part can be ami with a circumflex on that first iota. So just as Nausicaa, just as Artemis goes, kat urea, along the mountains, this is better said as along the mountains, along or over the mountains, ioheira, she who pours arrows. So it's from the verb heo, which means to pour. But here it can have that meaning of shooting. So a shooter of arrows, and that modifies Artemis. You'll see ioheira with that alpha ending is feminine. And of course, that's going to modify a feminine goddess. Which mountains are we talking about? A ... A. So either she's going along Mount Tegetos, which is described as perime keton, right? And that's here. It's very tall or very high. Or she's going around Mount Eromanthos. And what is she doing? Terpo mene, it's down here. So terpomai is the verb form. Terpomene, this is the participle form. It's middle with this omene ending. And that eta tells us it's a feminine adjective. So delighting in, and when you delight in things in Greek, they have to be dative, and that's pink. Pink is dative. So first, delighting in kaproisi, which are wild boars, right there. And also delighting in oikes elafus. So elafus are deer. And this word oikes is going to modify this word elaphoisi. Now, elaphoisi, if you look down here, it tells you elaphos is the nominative form. Ha means it's masculine, and he means it is also feminine. So this form, elaphos, can be masculine or feminine. Now this adjective, oikes, when you see that ending eta with iota subscript, that can be short for one of three things. Eta with iota subscript with a sigma, alpha with iota subscript and a sigma, or alpha with iota adscript and a sigma. This is the one you know from Greek 1, dative plural feminine, and that's the one you have here. And so what also happens, and also the is and da is to, nymphai, and the nymphs are together with her as well. Who are the nymphs? They are the kurai, the daughters of Zeus, Ai Yi A Koya, who wears the aegis. It's usually translated as aegis bearing. There it is. And what are these nymphs doing? They are agronomoi. They're the nymphs who come from the agros. They're the nymphs who come from the wild. And they are paidzusi. This is what kids do. They play from pais paidos. So they're playing around. And Leto, who is the mother of Artemis, right? And Leto Gagatha, this is reduplicated. It tells you down here from gay theo, and that means to rejoice. So Leto rejoices or has rejoiced in her phrena, in her mind. Huper pasaon, and above all of them, she, meaning Artemis, she, eche, holds or keeps her kare and her metopa. So that's her head and her forehead. This Ada is a conjunction that means the same thing as kai. So her head, Ada, and her forehead. And reya, and easily, this is an adverb, easily recognized, arignote, peletai. Now, pelomai, this verb is basically a substitute for the verb to be, just a fancier way of saying esti. So, and she is, there it is, to come upon, come to be, or just to be, verb to be. So easily is she distinguished, and all of the nymphs are beautiful as well. Hos. Now this hos is very interesting because it'll come to mark the end of a simile. Greek similes love to tell you exactly what's being compared. So this says, just like Artemis goes, or just as Artemis goes, hos, we're going to translate as thus or in the same way. So in the same way, hey, she, amphipoloisi, among her handmaidens, right? Pink is dative. And then we get the verb metaprepo here. She stands out. So thus, let me scroll up. Thus, in the same way as Artemis does that, right? She stands out among her amphipoloisi, among her handmaidens. Whom are we talking about? Parthenos, the young girl, Admes, who is unmarried. So one last time, thus, or in the same way that Artemis does all that stuff, the unmarried maiden stands out among her handmaidens. So that's the end of line 109. And this is obviously in preparation for a quiz that you are about to take, probably right after you watch this. So good luck, and I will see you in class, and let me know if you have any questions.